Welcome back, Inebri-art. It is me, Andy, again. And I'm not gonna do any preamble. We're just gonna jump right in today. We're with Andrea from Glitterfox. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor to get to do it and to be asked.
Aw, I don't know if we're an honor, but
I mean,
we're
it's
we're
nice.
fun. We're fun. Yeah, I'll take
Yeah,
fun.
it's
Yeah,
just it's
it's just
cool. I mean, it's so cool to write a song and play with your band and then people want to talk to you about it. That's so cool.
yeah. And this is your debut album, right?
Yeah, technically it is. I mean, Solange and I, the lead singer, we started the band 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we've put out, some stuff kind of on our own, but this is like our first real, because we were building the band slowly over the years. For the longest time it was just me and Solange, me on guitar, Solange singing, and then in 2018 we added a bass player, Eric Stalker, added that into the mix, and then
That's an
in
unfortunate
2000
name.
Eric Stalker, I
Talk,
know, and it's funny because he's literally like one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in the
yeah,
entire world. Um, yeah, he's always like, "I'm Eric Stalker, spelled the creepy way." Uh,
that's great.
yeah, but it's true. He's one of the nicest guys in the world. He's a terrific bandmate. So this is the first like full length album that like the band is putting out, which is like me on guitar, Solange on lead vocals, Solange Goa, Eric Stalker on bass, and then Blaine Heinonen on drums. We added Blaine in 2022. So yeah, it's the debut album from the four of us.
And I was listening to some of it earlier today, like as I was kind of like getting in the office and whatnot. And Solange has like real Stevie Nicks vibes.
We hear that a lot. Yeah, it's that kind of alto, a little bit lower register.
Yeah.
The timbre, that raspiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, Solange really,
Does
really
she
does.
like that or does she not like that? 'Cause I feel like people can kind of take it in like a I'm my own person kind of thing, or but is she like kind of cool with it?
Yeah. I think Solange is cool with it. I mean, who who wouldn't appreciate being compared to one of the most beloved singers, one of the
Yeah.
most beloved international singers from this era. Like who wouldn't? Like who
Yeah.
who would be upset about being compared to that? But Solange very much is also like, no, like I'm Solange Goa, sure, I sound this way. Also, Solange gets compared to other singers too. Solange gets compared to Miley Cyrus.
Hmm.
Solange gets compared to other singers. And the reality is Solange's voice is incredibly versatile. Solange can sing as low, I mean, just so low, but also can belt up like way up high with a ton of power. So Solange's voice is just incredibly versatile. I know I'm kind of partial because I've been listening to it for
Yeah.
12 and a half years.
But no,
Um,
that's those are the people you want to work with, like when you find that person that you feel has such diversity in what they can do, then that's kind of like, yeah, I want to work with that person.
yeah, I'm truthfully to this day, like, I mean, we've been playing music together side by side for 12 and a half years. We were actually together as a couple for 12 years. We recently separated. But it's like when you just been side by side with someone, just pushing, really trying to break through. Um, but yet to this day, Solange still surprises me.
Yeah.
And just does really exciting things on stage. Like, and that's cool. I love having a creative partner that to this day, just pushes me and surprises me all the time.
Yeah.
And I hope I do the same. I hope Solange is. It was funny. We just played a show over the weekend, and it was funny because both of our girlfriends came out on stage, and I like dropped to my knees and was like playing guitar, and Solange was like, "I've always wanted you to do that move." And so it's cool. I think that we are continuing to surprise each other and excite each other creatively.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can imagine it's got to be difficult 12 and a half years to kind of still come up with, like you have those friends or partners or whatever, and you start telling a story, and they're like, "I've heard this story. I've heard this story. I've heard," and it's like I'm sure that there's like a creative similarity thing where they're like, "Well, you know, that sounds like you're solo on something. Can you play this?
Mm.
Do you find that kind of like sometimes it's really good because like you have a shorthand with someone where you can just be like you automatically know what they're doing ahead of time. But do you ever find it being like, oh, I've heard this done that way before? Like, have you ever had that kind of?
Honestly, no. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think that Solange and I are both people that we're always pushing ourselves.
Mhm.
We're constantly pushing our own limits and our own boundaries. Um, even just with like our stage, what we wear on stage, like that's constantly changing. Like the way that we do kind of everything about the band is constantly changing and constantly evolving. So it continues to be this very exciting experience. Like even like the way we make music videos for a long time, it was like just, like Solange would direct them and we would just kind of do them. But now, Eric, our bass player, his wife, Kaylee, she's taken over directing our music videos and she's doing this incredible job. So it's like our music videos are leveling up, which you'll see. We have one coming out on the 30th of this month and then we'll have another one a few weeks after that. But it's like our
Nice.
music videos are leveling up. It's just we're just always trying to level up. When you're an independent artist, there's literally like 100 different things that you have to be good at. There's a
Yes.
hundred
Yeah.
hundred different areas. And I do feel like we're constantly trying to improve and streamline and expand. And so yeah, it's very exciting. I continue to be very excited by the band.
Yeah. And it's like that way being, a small business owner, there you become like you wear so many hats that you just like, oh yeah, cool. Now I know how to. I remember, was it 2 summers ago? I think it was 2 summers ago. We were running this event, and so like we went through the whole thing. We had to get like approval from the town, blah blah blah. And so then I text my business partner. I'm like, well, I just got off the phone with the Army Corps of Engineers. That's a new thing I got to say. And it's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's just like, when I love that kind of, and I'm notorious for it. Like that's how the podcast started. I'm like, we're starting a podcast. My business partner's like, so I have to learn how to edit audio. And I'm like, uh-huh. And it's like I love that. Let's learn it on the fly. Let's figure it out as we go. We've shot some YouTube shows where we're just kind of like we don't know what we're doing, and I don't know why it
Hmm.
looks that way. And then you learn, and you improve, and you get it better, and then you have a weird setback where you think you're like, oh, I have this worked out, and then you try something new, and you're like, oh, it's a disaster. Um, but I think that's what makes it interesting to be like a creative person is like I don't know how it's gonna work, you know.
Hmm. There's a real scrappiness about it. There's a real scrappiness I find too, like, creatives who are like, um, just really finding their way to like make a living, with their art. Um, or I mean, yeah, or however people want to make a living. Sometimes we have day jobs,
Yeah,
sometimes we drive DoorDash,
yeah,
in the winter when there's not
yeah,
as many shows, like whatever you have to do. But it's like when you're just like, no, like I'm an artist, this is my art, this is what I do, like let's fucking go. I love that mentality, because there is this scrappiness and there is just this thing of like, well, I just have to throw myself into it and then figure it out as I go because like you don't know what you don't know. And um, you know, it's just amazing. Yeah, exactly. Like we're accountant, we're running social media,
yep,
accounts, we're making our own music videos, we're building our own websites, and in there, we're writing songs, we're building a band, we're rehearsing a band, we're going out to shows, we're working on our outfits, we're working on our choreography. It's like there's just and it does just make you such a well-rounded person.
yeah.
And also my other favorite thing about that is like how you have to develop all these different skills. It's like the people you meet. Like I'm meeting you. This is
Mhm.
awesome. It's like when you throw yourself out there, how exciting your life really gets because of all of the really cool people that you meet out there on your journey is what
Yeah.
makes it so rich and vibrant.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like I meet so many people from the podcast, but in real life too. And like I'm not the person at the party who's got a boring story. I'm like, oh, so yeah, that was the time we got a private tour of the Lizzie Borden house, or we were doing this crazy thing. And yeah, like I don't have a job that I never know what day it is. I don't know what day of the week it
Oh
is. I
yeah.
never.
I barely know what month it is.
Yeah, because it's
Like
every day is so different that I'm like, I
yeah.
don't I don't know. I know where I'm going to be tomorrow and where I'm supposed to be today, but other than that, and it's a little bit of chaos. And you're right, there's this like scrappy stubbornness. And I was actually having this conversation with a friend last night, and it was one of those like borderline heated debates with a friend. Where at the end you give him a hug and you're like, I still love you.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And it was um there was a business that's struggling, and they were like they just need to close the door and call it quits. And I'm like, that's so easy to say. I'm like, you're um I think you're oversimplifying it. And my point
Mhm.
was that if you close the door every time it got hard, you wouldn't have opened. And it's that scrappiness where
Yeah.
you're constantly always trying to make you know this deadline or the ends meet, or build the business up or the fan base up. And it is you're it always, to me, stuff like that always feels like, oh, we're like 3 bad days away from everything just falling apart, you know but that's kind of like the chaos. And you have to have that scrappiness where you're just like, it's gonna work. I don't know why, but it's
Yeah.
just gonna work.
Like a delusional amount of self-confidence, you know?
Yeah.
And I think there's something too about like really believing in what you're doing and believing in the value of it, you know? And I always get that feeling with our band because it's like people will constantly send us messages and be like, or because like, we're a queer fronted band. Like I'm queer, Solange is queer. Um, and so we'll constantly get messages from people about just like how important our music is to them, or that somebody was going through a really hard time and they listened to our songs. And um or just even being a fun band and being like, yeah, like I danced my ass off, thank you so much, I really needed that. It's like when I hear those messages, I'm like, wow, like this is really important what we're doing, and like it deserves to be like fought for, you
Yeah.
know. um, and yeah, I absolutely I love the scrappiness. Like I'm here for the scrap. I'm here for the like let's figure it out. Like Solange and I, we started our own music festival. Um,
Oh, cool.
yeah, we started our own music festival in 2009. Well, because here's the thing, we got married in 2019.
Yeah.
Um, but I had like $30 in the bank. Like we were getting married and we were recording an album that year, and I was
Hmm.
like, I only have $30 in the bank. And
Let's start a
so
festival.
we did.
Yeah.
So our idea was like have a private wedding ceremony, but then make our reception open to the public and charge tickets. And so we had like two stages and like 10 or 11 bands,
Oh, wow.
and we had alcohol sponsors, and we did the whole thing. We're the only people I know who, made money off of our own wedding, and
Yeah.
we released our album that day. So it's like the thing is, here's the thing is that when you when money is tight, when anything is tight, resources are tight, time is tight, whenever something is tight, but like as an indie artist, let's be real, usually it's money.
Yeah.
Um, it forces you to think outside of the box.
Yes.
And that comes back to that like the scrappiness and the creativity when you're just like, we want to do this thing, but we only have this much money or we only have this much time. What that does is those restraints force you to think outside of the box
Hmm.
and say, okay, well, I want to do this thing no matter what. So I'm not going to be able to do it in the conventional way.
Right.
Um, and so it forces you, yeah, to be creative. It forces you to be interesting. It forces you to maybe do something that's never been done before.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, that mentality of I have $30. So to fix that problem, I'm gonna start a music festival. And like most people would be like, "Are you crazy?" But that's that mentality. Like that's fantastic.
Yeah,
Um,
we've kept it going every year. Last year we had like Ela Bamba played, and
wow.
I know, and like
Yeah.
Ural Thomas and the Pain, who's like incredible. I mean, yeah, I mean, so it's grown every year. It's kind of turned into this like interactive art and music festival.
Oh, very cool.
So yeah, we kept it going. We've done it every year since.
I'm gonna have to get like an email from you or something because we're starting our first uh officially we're doing our first concert this year.
Mm,
And so we're calling it Putt Putt Punk
cute. I love
because
that.
it's three punk bands on a mini golf course.
Yes, I want to
Yeah.
go.
All right.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah. It's and it's about a month and a half away. And yeah, it's just like it's one of those the unknown like the things you don't even know yet that are gonna be a problem, you know. So yeah, it's I would love to hit you up for some tips. But
Get a sound permit, I guess.
okay. I don't foresee
I
that
don't know
being
if that's
it's
like
it
the punk mentality though. I
yeah,
don't
but
know.
it's in a very like commercial area, so I don't really see it being, you know, there's no residences, so I don't think it'll be a big deal. But it'll be fun, I think. We'll see.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Putt Putt
Yeah.
Punk. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds amazing.
Yeah. And the headliners are a band that they're a Johnny Cash cover band, but they do punk covers of Johnny Cash songs. So
Oh
it's
shit.
yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
That's gonna be really fun.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Thank you. Um, but the thing that you're mentioning is that like lack of um funds or whatever breeds to creativity is there's a really really great artist that I've been following for a while now. I'm gonna recommend everyone check out. He's got a TED talk, and his name is Phil Henson,
It's
and
down.
he was obsessed with pointillism, just like making drawings from little tiny dots.
Okay.
So much so that he caused permanent nerve damage in his hand. So now his hand shakes and he can't make dots anymore. And so then his doctor's like, well, lean into that. And so he started doing kind of like scribble drawings. And then he said at like one point he got kind of like his first like big boy job and he could afford art supplies. And he went to the art store and bought a bunch of stuff and then sat down and was like, I don't know what I want to do. And it was like this plethora of materials and he just kind of lost his inspiration. So then he started making art with as little money as possible. And then it became like art that didn't was impermanent. I think he called it like goodbye art. So he made like a
Mm.
portrait of Jimi Hendrix out of match heads and then lit it on fire. He did a portrait of Amy Winehouse in frozen wine, and then it
Whoa.
disappeared. And it's he's really fascinating because he's very much like that. Limited resources can lead to creativity, and I feel that 100%.
And so this was all after the nerve damage, and he
Mm-hmm.
had to like kind of, you know,
Yes, find out like different ways.
reconceptualize.
Yeah,
Yeah, like find a different outlet, like keep doing the art, but find different ways to keep doing
yeah.
it.
And then he's done some really cool things. Like he did a self portrait. I think he locked himself in like his brother's uh garage, and people texted him like really personal messages, and it's this it's a portrait of himself, but like if you look up close it's all like everyone's messages like written out, and it's his stuff is
Mhm.
unreal. It's like some of it I'm like I don't even understand how he got there, and then some stuff's just like fun. Like he did a portrait of Bruce Lee, but he like dipped the sides of his hands in paint and he painted it in karate chops. So
Wow.
yeah, so it's just this like I love when people will take something and just move it in a completely different direction, and that's that stuff like just really I love. So
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Yeah, because it's like, I mean, art, it should push us, right? That's the art. That's the art that excites us. Is the art that you're like, wow, like I've how did he think of that? Like,
mm-hmm.
that's incredible. But I mean, there is something to the like putting restraints on things can actually fuel creativity. Like one of the things I'll do when I need to write, like I kind of go through phases with writing. Like I'll be in a time where I'm like, lots going on, and I'll just be writing all the time. And then I'll go for a week or two. But I kind of always have things that I'm also working on, kind of nonstop all the time.
Yeah,
But one of the things I'll do when I am like in this period of like, okay, like I need to write, like an album's coming up, or there's something like, or I just feel it like I really need to write right now. Um, I'll set a timer for an hour and I'll give myself 1 hour. And I'll say, Andrea, you got to write an entire song in this hour, an entire song, like verses, chorus, bridge. Got to write the whole thing in 1 hour. And it's cool. It's cool having that time limit because it kind of shortcuts that, it bypasses that internal critic that's like, oh, is this a good lyric? Does this sound cool? Or,
yeah,
it really bypasses that internal critic because you just don't have time to entertain that. And that's been really effective for me. I know there's lots of ways that people do this. They'll put limits on how many chords they can play, or people will do that a lot with songs. But my favorite one, my go-to is kind of um okay, hey, we're gonna write a song in 1 hour. And then if you do that every day for a few days in a row, it really jump starts those engines and gets them really moving.
yeah, yeah. I very much can be critical of my own work and a bit of a control freak, and was having trouble with my drawings where I'm like I'm just not happy with them, and so then I kind of like went back to the basics. Like there's a drawing it's supposed to be like a warm up where you put your pen down and you draw the picture without ever picking it up.
Mm.
And so it's one of there's a handful of things that you can do to kind of like kind of warm up and just get your brain thinking and I started doing that, and I mean just some of the results were way beyond what I was expecting them to be, but it also gave me like it gave my brain this out so it was less judgmental, where normally my brain would be like that arm is just too wide or too long or just not in the right, my brain would be like, I mean it's one line, what do you expect? Like it's not it takes out that struggle for perfection and replaces it with something cool, you know
Yeah.
it's super fun.
That's cool. I
Yeah,
like that idea. Like writing a song, like not just looking at the guitar, like not even like playing it.
well, that would be
Just yeah.
interesting. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
I interviewed this other band, and I hope I'm gonna get the right band because I talked to so many people. I want to say it was Bad Bad Hats, um, who during COVID, I think they had like a Patreon or something. I don't remember the exact reason why they did this, but every week or every month, they wrote a song in a completely different genre than that they play, to the point where they even did like a James Bond theme song. And
Nice.
yeah, so I'm like, that's such a great way to kind of push yourself in a direction, in a way that you would never go. If you're a country band, and be like, all right, well, this week we're doing a hip hop gangster rap song, and but it can't be any country. It has to be like, and so I think it's doing stuff like that. I think is just great for growing your skills in general.
Yeah. Or I've heard people like I just saw Shovels and Rope perform and they were like, we wrote this song from the perspective of a dog. And I was just like, oh.
Okay,
And
that's
I
interesting.
love the song.
Yeah,
It's funny because I misheard them on stage when they were saying it and they were like, I thought they were like we wrote this song from the perspective of a daughter, and so I was hearing the song and I was like thinking about like a parent and their kid, and I was just
Yeah.
like, oh, this is so beautiful. And then after the song they said something about a dog, and I was like, oh, or my bandmate was, so I was like, oh, that song about the dog, and I was like, oh, that's what it was. Because I mean, yeah, I loved it, so yeah, I mean, that's another thing folks will do. Right. I can't really do that. I write from other perspectives. Like for me, like, I don't know, music is like just, it's so intensely personal. And like, I've always just written songs kind of like a page out of my own journal. And I'm always just writing. I use music to like process, honestly. Like whenever I'm going through something really big, or something really scary, or something really sad, or something exciting, like whatever it is, like I definitely use songwriting as a way for me to process my own feelings about things.
Yeah.
So I've never been able to be one of those people that's like writing from someone else's perspective, but I would like to try it sometime.
You'll have to do it from the perspective of a dog daughter.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I
Oh yeah, like
don't
a
know what that
puppy,
means.
like
Yeah,
a
there you
dog,
go.
like a dog, like a dog just gave birth, and writing the song from the perspective of a puppy, a little girl puppy. Oh,
Yeah.
that would be so cute. I'd be like, get out of my way, give me some more milk.
Are you a dog person?
I am. Yeah, I love dogs. I've kind of always had dogs my whole life. I love animals. I
Yeah.
love them all. Um, I'm definitely like that person that's like, ooh, give me your dog. I want to scratch him. I try to make friends with cats. I try to make friends with like any animal I'm around. Sometimes I'm like too much. They're like, yo, dude, chill. Like I just met you, and I'm like, I know, I love you though. But yeah, I definitely love animals.
Yeah, nice. Um, so are you guys planning to tour to support the record?
Yep. Yeah, our tour starts in September, and we're, yeah, getting all over the country, hitting all the big cities. Yeah, that starts in September. The record comes out August 22nd.
Nice. And it's
Yeah, but
Decoder, right?
yeah, Decoder.
Nice. Where are you guys located? I don't even think I asked or no.
We're in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, nice. That's like the hip city, isn't it?
Portland's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
Portland has a thriving art scene. The music scene is vibrant and kick-ass. Has a killer just musical ecosystem. There's venues of all sizes. Like if you can draw five people, or if you can draw
Yeah.
5,000, there's a venue for you. There's a lot of different artist communities here. Yeah, Portland, there's a lot of like really famous people. Like we recorded some songs in like 2023, and like Peter Buck from REM came in and played on our songs,
Oh, that's
and I was
cool.
just like crying in the corner, like, oh my God, it's Peter Buck. Um, Probably like one of the single biggest influences on how I play would be him. So
Yeah.
yeah, so there's a lot of musical legends, that call Portland home.
And
So,
I believe one of the, maybe not founders, but one of the original people in the drink and draw movement that's inadvertently spawned Inebri-art is out there. Jim Mahfood.
oh,
He's
okay,
an illustrator.
cool.
I got to interview him. It was super, like, one of the few times that I was trying not to, fanboy out. And so, but
Just weep in the corner a little
yeah,
bit.
just kind of like, oh.
Yeah.
Um, but I am also very lucky to live in an area that has those kind of multi-level venues. Um, and I tend to forget how lucky I am. Like, you talk to other people, and like, within, I'd say, 4 blocks, we have the bar that has like a small concert venue in the back that can fit like 100 people. Then we have a performing arts center that can hit like 1,000, and then we have Memorial Hall that holds a few thousand, and like Dylan played there,
Mm.
and that's, I mean, you can easily walk between all three, and there's always something going on. It's I always try to remind myself that I'm very lucky to live in like a place that's so vibrant. And
Yeah, because not everywhere is like that. Yeah, I mean, it is such a lucky thing. Like here in Portland, like I'm part of like a songwriter community. Our whole band is part of this like larger community of songwriters, and like we have our own festival in the summer that we throw together and all go to and support. And then um in the winter, we have a songwriter night that runs from October to kind of March. So, like in
Yeah.
October, when people's touring and gigs start to slow down, we go to this songwriter night and we all try to bring a new song every week. So, it's like being part of this community, like we're all pushing each other. Like, I'll hear my friend's song and I'll be like, God, that's badass. Like, I want to go
Hmm.
home tonight and write a badass song. Like, it's incredible to like be part of a community that we have here in Portland that's so tight knit, and it's so supported from the inside and from the outside. It's supported on the inside from the artists, and it's supported on the outside from the city of Portland by having all these different venues and different festivals and all these different things that we can all do. Like for instance, I'm leaving today to go to a festival that my friends are putting on and my friends are playing and my girlfriend's band is playing. Like
Nice.
it's a vibrant, like Oregon is rocking. Like when it comes to music, I don't know about the other arts. I have to assume that like there's just, but I see it too visually. It's like we have the Winter Lights Festival where sculpture is. I mean, just there's so much going on here.
That's
Um,
awesome.
I think Oregon is like a little bit of a secret. Like people don't necessarily all know like how amazing it is for music and for the arts. And I do think Portland kind of is at the epicenter of, I mean, it's a huge epicenter for the Pacific Northwest music scene. There is a lot happening. I mean, just I look at my schedule, it's like I'm going to a music festival this weekend, I'm going to a music festival next weekend, the weekend after that my band is playing Pickathon, which is a
Yeah.
huge like internationally respected music festival.
Cool.
um and then 2 weeks after that I'm going to another music festival. It's just like summer is go time for these like camping music festivals, and they range in all sizes. Some of the ones I'm going to have like 150 people there, and Pickathon, I mean, that's going to be huge. That's going to be thousands and thousands of people. And we just did Oregon Country Fair, which is a music and art festival that's been running for over 50 years. And that one's got tens of thousands of people every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we just had a big one out here. Was it last weekend? I think might have been 2 weekends ago. Levitate.
Oh, I've heard of, I feel like I've heard of that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard of that.
it's funny, like I don't, and that's why like I constantly have to remind myself because I'm like, oh yeah, Levitate, and then people are like, yeah, it's one of the bigger music festivals around, and like it gets like Ziggy Marley, and it's very reggae jam band heavy, but I mean, they get so many bands through there, and it's multi-day, and it expands every year, and it's it's pretty crazy, like, and half the time I'm just like, oh, traffic.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, complaining about this super cool thing that's happening.
yeah, just because I didn't happen
Yeah.
to get tickets, yeah. So
Yeah, we heard about that. Because we came out in May, we came out to Massachusetts and New England, and so we played in Provincetown.
okay.
And then so hold on, so we played in Provincetown, Massachusetts, we played in Providence, Rhode Island. We played in Apray Beach, which I think that's where we heard about, or maybe it was Marshfield.
Oh, Marshfield,
Um,
yeah, Marshfield's where
Marshfield.
Levitate is.
Yeah, we played in Marshfield. Yeah, and so that's where we heard
Did
about
you
Levitate.
play?
It
Did you play
was like a
the Levit?
brewery.
Did you play Stellwagen?
No, I don't think it was that. Did they have a brewery there? It was kind of like an outdoor.
So there's like Stellwagen's the brewery in Marshfield. There's Levitate Backyard Rexicana.
I
It's
think
like
that's what maybe what we played, like the Levitate, like kind of backyard kind of
backyard. Yeah,
series.
I know exactly where that is. That's funny.
Yeah, and you're like on this like kind of wooden stage, and then there's like
Yeah.
all these tables and stuff, and I think
Yep.
there's like a brewery there.
It's just like a restaurant kind of
Yeah,
food trucky kind of vibe thing. But yeah, there's a brewery right up the street. So
I think that's why we played. Yeah, but it was definitely like Marshfield. Yeah. So
that's
that's where we
funny.
heard about Levitate. They were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you guys are great. We have to get you guys at Levitate."
Yeah. That's Levitate's. in Marshfield and is right up the street from there. So yeah, and
Yeah.
it's so weird. Like I don't. It initially started because Levitate was a surf shop, like right where that
Oh, okay.
Rexcana backyard thing is. And then they started this concert, and it just kept growing and growing. I don't think I think they sold it to someone, but yeah, it's just that homegrown, trial and error. A surf shop. Let's put on a music festival. That kind of mentality, and that's the stuff I love.
Me too. Homegrown, just, people that are passionate. I mean,
Yeah,
man, passion for anything can really, really take you far. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to be gifted with a passion for anything. If it's pointillism,
yeah.
if it's writing, playing guitar and writing songs, if it's doing a podcast,
Podcast. Yeah.
drawing.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like, passion is a beautiful thing, and I do think it's a gift.
So the important question is: you're
Oh.
touring to support this album. Are you coming back to Marshfield or Mass?
People always ask me where we're playing, and I've gotten so bad about it now because I don't do our booking anymore. We've
Yeah,
been really blessed to have this incredible um team around us. Because like literally for 10, 11 years, like I did 100% of the band's booking. But a couple years ago, we've been so lucky. We've got management, we've got a record label, we've got a killer agent. Um, and so they kind of handle it all now. And so I am like the most guilty now that I don't like from one week to the next. Like I'm
how
like,
was
I
that?
don't I don't know where we're going.
How was that passing that off? Because we talked about how like you have to do everything. I feel like if I was passing something off, and I mean, it's always a great thing, like when you can, because you're like, oh, we've grown to this point where I can now, hire someone. But I feel like I would be the worst person to work for because I'd just be like, well, that's not exactly how I would. I put the paper on the left side of my desk, and you have it on the
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
did you have trouble kind of giving that up, or were you just like, I'm done?
No, of course there's growing pains,
Yeah,
and like even when we opened a bank account, like the four of us, me, Solange, Eric, and Blaine, like when we opened a bank account, we're all on it and we're all
yeah,
equal owners. Like there's like been 100 of those moments over the last 2 years. And like, you get nervous, but like you just have to kind of like breathe, like, just kind of like breathe and just remind yourself, like, just kind of trust and just kind of remind yourself, like, hey, this is what growth looks like. I mean, we've had to just do that over and over and over again for the last 2 years. I mean, we
yeah.
really have, like, bringing on a manager, bringing on an agent, because like everything about the way that we do everything has continued to change and evolve. But like the reality is like when I was wearing all those hats, when I was being our accountant, which I am still our accountant, but we have a business manager too. Me and
Yeah,
her kind of tag team it. But it's like I was like struggling. I mean, I was getting run into the ground,
sure.
trying to keep up with all of those demands. So I was just trying to remind myself that, like, hey, these changes are good because it does free me up more to like perform and to write and to practice, which like those are the three things I'm the best at. I'm the
Yeah.
best at performing, writing, and practicing. And so um anything that enables me to devote more time to the craft, because at the
Hmm.
at the end of this is all about a craft.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
about, it's not about, social media is important, all these different things are important, but like at the end of the day, like this is about a craft and dedication to a craft. um and so I like to have that diligence that like every day I'm working on the craft, and
Hmm.
turning these things over gives me more time so that I'm able to do that. So yeah, I mean, of course it's going to be bumpy. It's going to be like, oh, now we get paid once a month instead of getting paid after every gig. Like there's just these little but they're just adjustments, and then you get used to them,
Yeah.
and ultimately I feel incredibly lucky for the team we have because like I love them. I love them so much. Our manager, our agent, our record label, our business manager, now our digital strategist, all the people that we work with, like I just love them as people. They're people like, I want to hang out with them. I want to spend time with them. They're such special people. I feel so honored that they work with us. Um, and I have to trust. Here's the thing: you got to trust them.
Hmm.
You got to trust your team.
Yeah.
I have to trust that
That
the
you picked the
agent
right
knows more.
person. Yeah.
You got to trust them. It's like when you bring someone on to do a job, you got to trust them to do it. You got to let go and
Yep.
let them do that and let me focus on my jobs, which is writing, performing, practicing the guitar.
Yeah. I got to talk to this photographer last week, and we were talking about transitioning from, quote unquote, a normal job to a creative job, and some of the stresses and whatever. And he's like, yeah, he's like, but you have to remember, he's like, the stress and the problems that you have are a privilege. He's like, no one else has those specific problems because they're, you know, showing up to work, punching in a time clock. Not saying they don't have problems, but they don't have those weird problems of like the cops are here and they want to shut us down because we didn't get the right sound permit, kind of, that kind of thing.
True.
Those are like exclusive problems that we're privileged to have to deal with.
Well, and the other part of that too is like I've worked regular jobs. I was a psychiatric music therapist
Yeah.
for 5 years before I transitioned to just being a full-time, writer and performer. And it's like that was hard too.
Oh,
Like that
sure.
was
Yeah. Yeah.
hard. That was hard. That was
Yeah.
that was really hard. That was really stressful. So it's like even regular jobs, like I could be delivering packages for UPS or I could be driving a bus and it's like it would still be hard. I would still have daily stress. So it's like I don't think the life of an artist is, more or less stressful than having a regular job. But at least like the stresses I'm having, I'm stressing for art.
Right.
I'm stressing for art, and
To do the
that's
thing I want to do and not,
I'm yeah, I'm
yeah.
stressing to follow a dream, and that's beautiful. And also too, it's like when you think about you can think also about security and about financial security, and it's like because that is something that comes up when you make your life as an artist, when you make your life as a creative. We do walk away to some extent from some of that financial security, I guess you get
Hmm.
from when you have like the quote unquote day job. But it's like there's no guarantees in that way of life either because I mean
Right.
people get laid off. I mean, people will be at their same job 20, 30 years and get laid off unexpectedly. It's like everyone I know with day jobs, like they face that uncertainty as well.
That's
But
that's that's how I got doing this full time. Is I was working for a stainless steel company in their marketing department. I was running their trade shows. Like I was handling like getting all the stuff on in the right place in the right time and all the
mhm.
paperwork and crap. And then COVID hit, and there were no more trade shows,
Mm,
and they laid me off. And I was like, okay, well, I have this side hustle thing that I've been working on for years.
yeah.
Now, why not make it the main thing?
Look at you 5 years later.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like we can have day jobs, but that's it's a false sense of security
Hmm.
that they give us. And I think that but the one thing I think there is longevity in is passion,
Yeah.
is doing things that we're passionate about. Because before, when I was, doing day jobs, working at coffee shops, working at a kombucha shop, like being a bicycle courier, like all these different jobs I've had, being a music therapist, all these different jobs. After a certain amount of time, I would get bored. I would get burned out. I would get less interested, and I just wouldn't really want to do it anymore. Like
Yeah.
I would only everything I ever did always had like like an expiration date or like a shelf
Hmm.
life. Like I would do it for a year and then I started to get kind of bored, or even 4 or 5 years. But then inevitably I'd start to get burned out. I'd start to just get bored. Being a musician, I've been a musician like professionally now for like 12 years. And for the last 10 years, it's been my main way of supporting myself. For literally 10 years,
That's
it's
awesome.
been how I've paid my bills and supported myself. But there's longevity in it because like here I am, 12 years in and like I'm still excited about it. I'm still building new skills. I'm still improving. The
Yeah,
songs I write today are so much better than songs I used to write and like m- I still have this excitement, this enthusiasm. And I have an enthusiasm in that like I've just given my life over to this thing. There was this one day when I was at a festival and our band was playing, and this was a couple years ago, and I just felt so grateful to be invited to play there. I felt so grateful to be part of it that I was like, man, whatever it takes, I just want to do this the rest of my life. I just want to be this the rest of my life. And I think that's true. I think that I'm always gonna just keep trying to find a way to play guitar and write songs and perform them. It's like this is it for me. This is all I want,
that's awesome. Yeah. Well,
There's a
our
there's a
listeners,
real I just want to say there's a real sustainability in passion.
yeah, and our listeners can help you with that. They can go and pick up the new album on August 22nd, Decoder. Where will it be available? Like, is there a website
Oh,
or
yeah, we have a website. It just changed. This is one of the things I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. We got we got we got a new website. I'm pretty sure it's glitterfoxband.com. I'm almost positive.
they
Yeah, that's
can
like one of those things
they
where
can Google Glitterfox and find
yeah,
it. Yeah,
yeah, so the album's on there. It's gonna be on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, YouTube, all the places you listen to music. Um so yeah, you can find our information on our Instagram, which is Glitter Fox Band, Facebook. We'll be blasting it out everywhere. Yeah, Decoder, August 22nd on Jealous Butcher Records.
nice. And I'm gonna go to Google and Google Glitterfox and find out when you guys are playing in Mass next. Because if you're in Marshfield and I miss it, I feel like I'm not doing my job. So
I'll be like, "Where's Andy?"
yeah, because
Yeah, I'm
that's
sure
just
we're
so
coming back to
close.
Mass.
That's I mean that's
Yeah,
so close. Yeah, so
yeah,
that's awesome. So thanks for coming on, man. This was a lot of fun.
yeah. Thanks, Andy. It was so much fun just meeting you and getting to talk with you and talk about art and creativity. And yeah, I loved it. Thank you so much for having me on.
Anytime. And listeners, you can find us back here again next week doing the same thing.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And thanks for checking out the show today, listeners. If you enjoyed the content today, you can go over to patreon.com/Inebri-art to support the show. You can join over there for just a few dollars a month and help us provide this fun content that you just checked out. You can also email us at inebriart.com with your questions, complaints, and concerns, or you can find us on all social medias at Inebri-art or at Inebri-art6 on Instagram. And also don't forget to check out our other shows, Bar Talk Podcast, Old Colony Cast, Inebri-art, and all the other shows on the Inebri-art Network, which you can find at inebriart.com. Thanks again for listening.